Chapel Hill Town Hall with your municipal election results just in overnight.
Basketball season is finally back, and so is ACC play. We'll break down the Tar Heels opening matchup against Notre Dame.
A deaf graduate student is bringing a new perspective to the UNC audiology program.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Adam Jordan.
And I'm Julie Kuhn. Let's go right to our top story. The town of Chapel Hill's election results are in, and one victory in particular has UNC students buzzing. Reporter Peyton Tysinger joins us live from Chapel Hill Town Hall with the details. Peyton.
Yeah, Jilly, UNC senior Ty Huynh won a seat on the Chapel Hill Town Council, but by no means was it a landslide. The current numbers show that he won that seat by 24 votes. Yes, that's 0.8%. Now, there were 7 candidates running for 4 available seats on the council. Now, the incumbents Jessica Anderson and Michael Parker won re-election, and the other 2 seats were taken by Amy Ryan and Huynh. The other elections on the ballot weren't so close. Chapel Hill Mayor Pam Heminger won re-election with a landslide 89% of the vote. As for town council, if the margin between these candidates falls at 1% or less, which Huynh does, there is a mandatory recount. The results for this election will be verified on November 15th. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, I'm Peyton Tysinger, Carolina Week.
The Democratic frontrunner in the presidential election is making a stop here in the Triangle. Elizabeth Warren will be campaigning at Broughton High School in Raleigh this Friday. She's the 4th candidate to visit the area. Beto O'Rourke and Bernie Sanders came to UNC earlier this year, and Joe Biden made a stop in Durham last week. This is Warren's first visit to North Carolina on the campaign trail. Doors open at 4:30.
After shootings at college campuses around the country, the university is adding additional security measures in classrooms. Reporter Natasha Lagur is in the studio to tell us more. Natasha?
You may have walked in your class and noticed a new red button installed near the door. It's part of a new initiative to help secure campus facilities. Another unexpected moment that students don't want to experience: a gunman opens fire at UNC Charlotte. Students not thinking anything like this could happen to them. This is the video that Majahif Turner, a UNC Charlotte survivor, just took moments after the incident. It's a day he says he'll never forget.
You know, you don't know what's going to happen, what's going on, where they at. Like, there were so many things going on that day on campus. All buildings were locked down the second they heard about it. Because, I mean, it's basically life or death. So you're fighting for your life.
After the shooting at Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill tightened up its security, launching a new classroom door lock initiative to provide additional security in campus classrooms.
Now, these lockdown buttons that were installed inside the classrooms actually are activated to lock the door that is right next to it. All a student has to do is lift here, push the button, and they are locked from the inside. Now, these buttons will actually alert and also sound an alarm to provide UNC police more information on what's going on here.
Campus police say they sent out an email letting people know about these buttons over the summer, but some students are still unaware of these new classroom locks.
Students are less likely to check their school email account over the summer when they don't have any obligations to school.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You telling me about these lockdown buttons is the first time I've actually heard about them happening.
I reached out to campus police and UNC facilities, and both declined interviews. UNC Facilities says on its website that all classroom and labs in every department across campus are now equipped with interior locks. Jilly?
Thanks, Natasha. Well, if you've never been to Breadman's, you might want to check it out sooner rather than later. Developers working on a new downtown Chapel Hill project say the iconic brunch spot will be demolished to make way for Amity Station, a development of 5 mixed-use buildings. The roughly 2-acre lot has been home to Breadman's for more than 20 years. The owners of the restaurant are working with the developers to redevelop the lot and find a new spot for their restaurant. No time frame for the project has been formally announced.
It's an issue that's affected every UNC student at one time or another, the attendance policy, and it's a rule that has students and professors divided.
When I go to school, I want to be in a place where I feel comfortable, where I feel like I'm in a position to really learn, and if my body or my mental state isn't in a place where I can do that, or I feel confident and safe to do that, then I don't think I should have to be in class.
Torrid feels that the university-wide attendance policies have unrealistic expectations, and he's one of many students who have voiced opposition to the rules. Currently, the policy states that the only approved absences are those for things like university-sanctioned events, disabilities, religious observances, and personal family medical emergencies. Other than those, absences are handled at each professor's discretion.
Still talk to professors, you know, we're human beings. We don't always know what's going on, you know, from a particular student's perspective.
There's no word from the university about whether changes to the attendance policy are in the works.
Students at UNC come from all backgrounds and all walks of life.
That's a point of pride for the state's flagship university, and there's one student whose unique life experiences are helping her make a difference in the community that's important to her. Cambria Haro has the story.
So this is like a soundproof booth, and I would be able to hear essentially what my patient is saying.
Alexis Nye is a graduate student in the audiology program at UNC.
We are ready to listen.
A natural fit for her.
And as soon as I take the magnet part off, I can't hear. But as soon as I connect it, I can hear. What I remember from my childhood was just being a little girl with 2 cochlear implants. My family really normalized my hearing loss, so I didn't feel a lot different with my family. But when I stepped into public schools and I was with peers, because I had 2 plastic things on my head.
Nye was born profoundly deaf, something her family didn't realize until they attended a parade when she was 6 months old.
The fire trucks went by and the sirens went off, and he was holding her in his arms. She was sleeping and she didn't flinch. It didn't wake her up, it didn't scare her in any way, and it startled us. It was right in front of us. So then we realized we needed to get her checked out and see what was going on.
Nye got her first cochlear implant when she was 2, and it worked well until the implant shorted out when she was 15.
During that month when I had lost all of my hearing, it was basically starting back at square one.
She didn't feel sorry for herself. She's just always kind of been that way with everything.
She has positive attitude and
pretty independent.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to hold her hand a lot.
Nye overcame those setbacks and found her calling helping a little boy with the same type of cochlear implant that she has. While working at a camp for special needs children,
when I was connecting with the kid while fixing his implant, just made me realize, oh, you know, I want to go into this profession because I can connect with them while I'm doing something that I love and understand. Present sometimes and they'd be able to hear me. A lot of people are most surprised that I'm in the audiology program, just because it's a profession that people expect you to have hearing in order to diagnose. But I also think it's really uplifting for them to find out, especially parents who have kids with hearing loss, to be like, oh, my child can do something that I never thought they could be able to do.
Nye's inspirational story doesn't stop there. She wants to become a cochlear pediatrician so she can help kids just like her.
Say the word sidewalk. Say the word woodwork.
I just know that she's going to be an excellent pediatric audiologist, and I also know that she's going to be a very inspiring role model for children who are deaf or hard of hearing.
She truly is an inspiration because of the challenges through, and she always comes out on top, and she's got it a little bit harder than the rest of us do, but she's not going to complain about it. She's going to find a way to make it work.
So yeah, it's nice finally being on the other side of the booth for once.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Cambria Haro reporting.
It's amazing to see someone like Alexis who not only is making a difference in the community, but doing so in a way in something that's affected her personally.
Yeah, it was such an inspiring story. We definitely need more people like that around. Let's head outside now for a live look at the weather. The sun is out, but it's still chilly. Will temperatures dip even further this week? We've got our full forecast up next.
of a bright new future for this country.
Live a life on my knees.
The voters are coming.
I am the savior. We are the savior.
The arrival of chilly weather each year at Carolina also brings a familiar sight to campus: dance marathon recruiters.
That's right. I always love seeing their dances in the pit. And Carolina For the Kids recruiters are out in full force this week to help students sign up for the organization's flagship event, the UNC Dance Marathon. Student volunteers will be out in the pit all week advertising the marathon, passing out sign-up forms, and even giving a preview of the March event. Though most students know CFTK recruiters for their energetic pleas to get people to sign up, PR Chair Kalina McKay says the group is trying some other methods too.
I think we're kind of like known for like screaming in the pit, so we're trying to kind of like compensate for that and do like more chill events like this one. So we're in the quad today. Today we're making cards for the patients and families of UNC children, so just kind of trying to like tie it back to our cause.
McKay says that Carolina For the Kids raised $440,000 last school year. Their goal is to surpass that total with this year's marathon, which will take place in March.
The Carolina Indian Circle Art Gallery is now open in the Union. More than 100 people came to the opening on Monday. The gallery highlights Native Carolina alumni and features art by Native American youth with siblings at the university. The Carolina Indian Circle says more pieces will be added to the collection this month.
There's something else on display at the Union, a giant inflatable NASA rocket. It's part of the build-up to NASA Day, which begins Thursday. A space exhibition is set up inside the Union for students to explore NASA's technology. Carolina alumna and NASA astronaut Zena Cardman will be sharing her story tonight in Memorial Hall at 5. And on Thursday, the university has planned an all-day event for people to learn more about what's next for NASA. It took a little while this year, but we're finally getting some real fall weather. I know I'm excited about that.
I know. I leave the house in the morning with a coat, and by the afternoon, I've completely ditched it. Let's go to Carolina Week weather reporter Kayla Boswell to see what we have in store for the rest of the week.
Hey Heels, happy Wednesday. As you can probably tell, it's finally starting to get cooler outside. So let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Today's going to be a beautiful sunny day with the high of 64. Tomorrow's also going to feel a little warmer with the high of 69, but it's going to be partially cloudy. Friday's going to be the coldest day of the week with a high of 47, and also it's going to be partially cloudy. The weekend is going to be nice though, with a high of 51 and 60 and sunshine all day long. So make sure to get outside while you can. Back to you guys in the studio.
Jilly, how would you feel if you got ticketed in your own driveway?
I don't think I'd like that, and I don't even know if that's allowed.
Well, Blake Morgan may have some other news the other way. He's in studio with us in his weekly blender.
The new weeknight parking program was universally hated by students, but the university's new attempt to make more money off the 2 white lines isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Dozens of students reached out to us with concerns of much higher ticket prices, holds on their student accounts, how the town of Chapel Hill is regulating off-campus parking. If you get a ticket on campus, expect it to be at least $30. Within 5 days or so, the university will place a hold on your student account, preventing you from registering for classes. If you don't pay it within 10 days, it'll be an additional $10 at least. I talked to a few seniors who had no idea there was a hold on their account, and subsequently they missed out on classes while trying to resolve it. The town of Chapel Hill has gone as far to ticket students in their own driveway. Our team searched the code of ordinances, and none of them seemed to permit this, but I spoke with a student who said they woke up to 2 tickets on their cars in their large gravel driveway, not because they were too crowded, but because it exceeded the amount of cars that you could actually have on the premise for the house. Really bizarre, but any tickets?
I actually haven't. I got a month ago, but I've been fortunate. I've avoided it.
I've gotten 4 in the journalism school.
4 tickets.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, that might be why they're cracking down. Well, I reached out to the town clerk multiple times, haven't heard back, but I'm hoping to sit down with her this week to find out what students need to know to avoid these fines. But that's your Weekly Blender.
Coming up, the men's soccer team takes on Syracuse in ACC postseason play.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to sports. I'm Caroline Boyer. Some lawmakers are still pushing for legislation to have college athletes paid for their use of their name and likeness. It was our top story last week. The NCAA decided to allow college athletes to be paid, but some lawmakers, including Mark Walker, who represents North Carolina's 6th District, don't trust the NCAA is really changing anything. That's why Walker is still moving forward with his legislation to make this a reality.
I'm just telling you that what you are doing is a violation and injustice to fellow Americans, as grandiose as that sounds. Now, I will tell you that I have a daughter who works in the arts program for a university. I know she is putting in a lot of hours at the same time that she didn't have to sign a ban saying that the school owns her name, image, and likeness. It is only the student athletes that have to do that.
Walker initially proposed the bipartisan legislation in March, but it recently gained national attention because of his opinions on the NCAA announcement. The UNC men's soccer team looked to keep its postseason hopes alive at home Tuesday night in the first round of the ACC tournament. The 7th-seeded Tar Heels were locked in a tight one with the 10th-seeded Orange. With neither team able to find the back of the net, UNC broke through with this header from midfielder Jeremy Kelly in the 85th minute, but it was waved off due to an offsides call. With the score tied 0-0, the game went into overtime, where the Orange almost scored on this header from midfielder Ryan Raposo. 2 overtime periods later, the contest would be decided by penalty kicks. UNC had a chance to strike first, but junior forward Santiago Herrera's shot was blocked by goalkeeper Christian Misch. The Orange made all 5 of their PKs and will advance to the second round of the ACC tournament, winning 5-3. Wednesday is the official start of the 2019-2020 season for the men's basketball team, and they are back with a lot of new blood in the freshman class. The Tar Heels have lost 5 of their top scoring players since last season, leaving only junior Garrison Brooks. Major losses for the Heels this season include wing Cam Johnson, who averaged 16.9 points per game, freshman point guard Kobe White, who had 16.1, and senior Luke May, who averaged 14.9. The biggest obstacles for the Tar Heels this season will be scoring and rebounding. In the preseason game last Friday against Winston-Salem State, it was clear that the team had talent, but hadn't yet found its rhythm. Brooks and freshman Armando Baycott carried the team with a total of 21 rebounds, but the Tar Heels finished the game with a whopping 23 turnovers. Facing Notre Dame tonight, an ACC opponent, the Heels will have to step it up and find a groove to come out with a win. And Game 1 is no cakewalk. Carolina Week sports correspondent Adrian Walker is at the Smith Center to preview Carolina's Week 1 ACC matchup against Notre Dame.
Yeah, guys, I am here at the Dean Smith Center, and it should be a battle tonight. It should be a battle on the defensive end most of all. We have Garrison Brooks, who put up 4 steals, also had 18 points, 11 rebounds. Leaky Black put up 7 assists. Cole Anthony put up 7 assists. But if we can't stop John Mooney, Rex Pfluger on Notre Dame, we are going to struggle, and we might lose tonight. I don't think we will. I think the Heels will come out on top, but it's a toss-up. We'll find out. Back to you guys.
The UNC men's basketball team picked up yet another big recruit in the 2020 class, and he's a familiar face to many Carolina fans. Donovan Puff Johnson announced his commitment with a video showcasing his older brother and former Tar Heel Cameron Johnson, passing on his pair of UNC Jordan 29s. Puff is currently ranked as the 39th best recruit in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. The 6'7" shooting guard has a game pretty similar to his brother's. He can shoot the deep ball with ease and is able to use his size to grab rebounds. Carolina fans will have a lot to look forward to in Puff Johnson and the rest of the 2020 class. With the addition of Johnson, UNC now has 5 recruits ranked in the top 60, giving them the 2nd highest rated recruiting class in the country. Puff won't hit the court until 2020, but for the current batch of Roy's boys, tonight is the night that starts it all. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Caroline. If you've never been to an escape room before, here's what to expect. You and your friends are locked in a room and you work together to solve puzzles and challenges to get out.
It's a lot of fun, and now you can experience an escape room right here on campus. Chapel Thrill Escapes has opened an escape room at Cobb Residence Hall. It's the first permanent on-campus escape room in the country that is both student-led and is a non-profit. It's open to the public and costs $10. Co-founder Cameron Champion says escape rooms are one of the best team-building activities anyone can participate in.
So I think escape rooms are just such an awesome way to collaborate and kind of work in this slightly uncertain environment, right? Like you get thrown or like somewhat locked into a room, and you're only going to get out if you work together.
Adam, have you ever been to an escape room?
I actually have twice, and I'm 2 for 2, but I've been there with people that are way better at puzzles than me, so.
I've been to one too, and I did really, really poorly. It took me forever to get out, so maybe we should like go together and see what happens.
Together, see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.